All right, we're here. Finally. Running a little late. What are we doing tonight? So let's review what we did last weekend. I actually did a little bit of extra work on the map because it was intensely tedious. But the tooling we built made it a lot easier. So you can see we've got a full grid. I've got a grid built out covering the entire, let's call this downstairs for now. And these are the same cells that we put in last week, just a whole lot of them. And as an example, let's say let's build a couple of rooms up here. So I enhanced the tooling with some nice buttons. Just added more buttons. Who wouldn't want more buttons? Excuse me. So here's the new workflow. So let's say we want to replicate these cells up here. We want to build out this upstairs hallway. I can Control D and then Control drag these guys over, drag them up, and get them right where I want them. So like going up the stairs is a single move. And you can see none of the lines are showing up anymore. There's no more lines. Oh no, how do we know they're connected? Well, I added this nice fancy button over here that says show debug lines, and click it, and voila, we get some nice colorful debug lines. So if they're getting in the way or too cluttered, you can just boop, hide them, off they go, turn them back on, and they're back. Also, you'll see the major difference. They're very colorful now. So it's kind of hard to tell if there was an error somewhere, right? If they were all the same color, they perfectly lined up. But with this sort of waving multicolored pattern, you'd be able to see like, oh, this line is green, which means it's in the wrong spot. It makes errors a lot more obvious than before. So just makes it easier. And you can see these guys are still connected this way, but not that way. I added a button to clear all the neighbor cells. So if you have multi-select, we can clear all the neighbor cells, and it'll just go through each one, clear them out, disconnect them from anything they're connected to, and bam, we're all good. And then we can go through and say we want to connect this guy, and this guy, right? This is our active one, the last one. And we can connect, bam, and it just connects them for us. Let's do the same thing here. I'm going to connect this guy, and this guy. Connect. And one of the things I came up with while I was doing this, like it's kind of hard to snag that edge. So inside the prefab, if I go into prefab, open asset and isolation, I've got this little quad in here that I can turn on and off, right? It doesn't have any colliders or anything on it. It's just mesh geometry, but that's what you click on, right? So if we save this, we jump back into our scene. Now they've all got just gray squares on them, and they're much easier to click. I could just hit that gray square and I can click them. So I can go bam, 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 connect, bam, bam, connect, right? So now I know these are all connected and they're connected properly. Let's do the whole hallway. So I'm gonna shift click these, Control D, slide them over. Let's clear them all. Let's Control D. Oh, I missed Control D. Control D, slide them over. Control D, slide them over. And setting up a room or a hallway is whole lot of the same, right? We're just Control D and Control D, and now we have all these rooms that are unconnected, or all these cells that are unconnected. It's actually pretty quick to go through and say connect, boom, 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 last one, connect, boom, 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 last one, connect. I'll grab these guys, connect, and just kind of run down the rows and connect these all up. Writing a simple little editor utility like this saves so much time. If you were around for when this was initially implemented, you saw the pain of having to actually select one, lock the inspector, figure out which ones to connect, dragging them into the neighbors. Now we can just real quick select the ones we want, hit a button, and it hooks everything up for us. And I'm gonna just finish this up. Connect. And with these lines, you can see there's some bugs in here. These guys are not connected horizontally. It's super easy to see with these debug lines. So just go through real quick. Connect, connect, connect. Connect, connect. And there we go. All right, and so we got them connected now, and we know they're connected correctly because the lines all match up. They're all the same color. Pretty easy to spot if there's a bug somewhere. And since we're not lining up cells anymore, and we don't really need those lines, we just hide them. You know, boom, off they go. And yes, I have to go in here and modify the prefab, get rid of that quad. I think we might use it for like the highlight in the future, but let's not worry about it for right now. Get my water. So yeah, so that was the major change between last week and this week. Let's see. Now we've got new stuff we can implement. So now that we have these lines, I want to be able to have the ghost or any other incorporeal entities able to cross. Like I want them to be able to move through that wall. But we need to put the walls back first, right? We got rid of our partially invisible walls, and let's do a play and take a look at it. We haven't run this in a while. Wait for that progress bar to go through. Let's see. And something broke. I broke something. Key has already been entered. Got some bugs. Let's see. Oh, we've got a duplicate cell somewhere. Let's see. -807. All right. Now we have to figure out how to get that one. Good thing those are essentially the world coordinates. This is, we need -807. This is -3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0. Oh, y is 0. And then 7. Is this... There's -9. We need... Are we moving the wrong direction? We are. 8. We're going to go x, -3, -4. Let's... You know what? We got to select these things again. Let's open this back up. Turn these guys back on. Save. Go back. All right, -5, -6, -7, -8, and +7. So that's -9, -3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's something up here. Let's doesn't look like there's anything wrong with that guy. Let's turn the lines back on. No, this is okay. Let's check its neighbors. No. Maybe we're looking in the wrong spot. Alright. Something we can do with this is add some try catches, and we can say what was it? An argument exception? Argument exception, same key, okay? And then in our script, we can catch this. We can write it and rethrow it, but we can also e.object, I think it is. Let's see if we can look it up. So Unity will let you link a game object. Object in debug. So you can create a way to gosh, I'm failing for words. In that console, so in this console, sometimes you can get links to certain lines of code. You can also get links to game objects in the scene. And I think we can do it through a debug. Debug.log, and then error. I think it's E something. There's got to be a get object data, I think, maybe? Object data, nope. So we want to get the game. Oh, you know what? We have the game object. It's this one. It's the cell. Error in cell. All right. We can even say cell.gameObject if we're really struggling. And then let's get rid of the console and then just rethrow it. Like we don't want to completely catch this because then we won't bubble the error up and we won't stop execution. But if we throw the play mode will pause and then we can click on our link. Let's see if we do it again. Do a little compile. Play. See what happens. Dang. Nope. Did it? Yep. Here we go. This is the offending tile. There's one that already exists in. This is -8, -8. It's -7. Oh, was it because it was like slightly off? Yeah. It's because it's at 7998 and not perfectly at 8. So something just might got nudged because they round. So obviously world coordinates are floats, right? But to turn them into like grid coordinates, we have to round either up or down or floor or seal, you know, get it to an integer. And because this guy was off, I think we floor it. So we just take whatever, you cut off the non-integer part, the floating point part, and that's your integer. Because this guy was nudged a little bit, it nudged it this way, right? So it was like, nope, this is really here, and there's already one there. So we need these guys to be perfectly on the grid. So now it should be okay. Hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, there we go. All right. So little enhancement, get some better messages. Let's move the ghost, move the player, and I think I want to make it a little bit easier to see, like just the outline is highlighting. Make it a little bit easier to see which cells you're allowed to move to. Because let's move everybody up against the wall. See, I can't move through this wall. There's a wall there. We removed the transparent graphics, but ghosts are incorporeal, right? So we should allow them to move through that wall, even though there's no link there. We're going to create a special link that says, "Oh, I'm a ghost. You know, give me all the moves if I'm a ghost," and then everybody else is, "Give me all the moves if I'm not a ghost." I think that'll add a little bit of interesting gameplay, just because it'll be like, "Oh, there's a ghost on the other side of the wall," or like, "Ooh, he jumped out at me." We get to make our own stories, right? Have a little bit of fun with it. But yeah, so if it's because I linked this. So the second argument is the context, right? So this is the message. Error adding cell, and then this is the context. And if you click on when I clicked on the row in the console, it selected the context. So it selected that cell for me, so I know which cell it's coming from, so I don't have to like dig through a whole bunch of stuff. He is declared unreachable code. That's fine. You can use underscore for variable name, just to say like, "Oh, I'm not going to use it." I mean, we could, you know, actually use it. Let's do an interpolated string. $sign. There we go. Now it's interpolated. It's using E. We don't have to worry about that. E, never declared. Compile, and then there's some unreachable code in there. Let's clean this up while we're here. Right, because this simplified, we don't have to do all this, but I think we're going to use something similar. So I'm going to comment it out, you know, excuse me, and then we'll come back to it. All right. Let's move forward to special cell connections. Let's allow ghosts to move through walls. And it's not really moving through walls, it's moving through these special like secret connections. I should not be capturing when there is hot control. Well, I don't know what. I haven't seen that one before. Let's just clear it and hope it goes away. Yeah. So we're going to add some special connections, right? So we have these gaps. I want to add special connections between these that only ghosts or only like special characters can move through. So let's do that. Each cell's going to need something to identify those neighbors, right? So a cell has neighbors of other cells, but we need to say like we need a special classification for these, and I think the easy way to do it is like just grab other cells and be like, you know, ghost neighbors. That's not neighbors for ghosts. Oh, this is, yeah, naming stuff is hard, super hard. Let's call this special neighbors. We're just making a new list of cells, right? So now we have these special neighbors, and when we get the normals, I looked at normal, it's normals. When we get the neighbors, we can say like, give me the neighbors, but include special, or don't include special. Excuse me. Let's see where this is used and how it's used. All right, this is used all over the place. Here, let's see. How do we want to interface this? Do we want to say like, because we're accessing neighbors directly, because this is a public, like, we'd have to like concatenate the ghost ones on. We can do that here, or we can hide that logic inside the cell. Like, give me your neighbors. By the way, I'm a ghost. Or we just, you know, say, give me the regular neighbors, give me the special neighbors. I'll figure it out. I think the simple case is going to be, let's control it here, right? So we can refactor this guy. I forget the shortcut. Refactor, change signature, get moves. I'm going to add a parameter. Is get ghosts, add special. Right, add special, and it's a special. Oh, type is not add special. Type is bool. Special modifier name get special. Use false. There we go. So now we have that, and then we can look at the turns, right? So wherever we use get moves, it should have auto-populated. Is this the only usage? Nice. So we can figure out if it is the player. You know, now we kind of have to pass along more information even further. So we're like just chaining down a Boolean, which is kind of a code smell. But I think we'll get away with it. So let's see where do we call this from? Enemy moves, Gallic moves, do turn. All right, we have player options, and then we do the enemy ones, enemy moves. All right. Here, this is where we would decide, are we special or are we not? Let's just do the same thing. Let's just refactor it, add a Boolean. We can collapse it later. All right, we're just passing a bunch of bools. Is ghost is special. Use false. Nobody's special except for the ghosts. All right. And then this becomes is special, right? We just, like, this is just passing this onto another method is, we got to be careful. But fix it later. Enemy moves, right? Now we have to know who is a ghost and who isn't. Enemy names. All right, enemy names. How do we know if an enemy is a ghost or not? Let's click back in here, get a reload going. Should see our special neighbors. Yep, there's special neighbors. Let's go look at our 1,000 cells in our board, but just collapse it down. Game manager, board, ghost. Oh, we hard coded this. Yeah. Let's see. It's the cells, the house. Yeah, we did this. The board, instantiate, enemies. So, we could link to this and say, if we're currently if we're moving this prefab, is the current enemy a ghost? Right, because this is just a list of game objects. This is a tricky one because now we're adding attributes onto the entities. Right now these aren't the same thing. They have extra info, like they have a game object. They have, are they a ghost? Is it time to expand and make these not just a game object, but make them an enemy object that has references to their game objects, has references to, are they a ghost? Do they have references to how fast do they move? That's, how many players have they caught? Are they sitting on a player? All that kind of stuff. It's a complexity jump. But for right now, since we have one ghost, we're going to do the simplest thing. Private int ghost enemy index. All right, and now here, since we're setting these, like this is going to be the first index, ghost is going to be the second index, we're going to say ghost enemy index equals 1. All right, this is not great, but it'll do for now. And we can say calculate moves. So this is player, is ghost. We can say current enemy equals ghost enemy index. Right? Because we set the current enemy when we do our turn. All right, let's go through. Start, pick enemy. Pick enemy sets the current enemy, right? Enemy names that count. Yeah, that works. So it picks an enemy and sets current enemy to the index of that enemy to move that's been picked. Let me jump back. And then in here, we act upon that enemy. Like we grab that enemy, right? And so we know that if the current enemy is the ghost enemy, then get the special moves. Let's go back in here, get moves, right? And we can say var regular moves equals, I'm just gonna, cells, blah, 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 blah. And then one too many. There it is. And then we can say var ghost moves equals cells chords dot special neighbors dot select. Ooh. And it's going to be the exact same, except it's coming out of the special neighbors. I'm going to list it, make it a little easier to work with. And we're going to return get special. If it's true, then we're going to do regular moves dot add range ghost moves. Otherwise, we're just going to return regular moves. All right? Does that not work? There's no implicit conversion between void. Oh, we have to do it. All right, let's not be fancy. Return regular moves. All right. If get special, we're just going to concatenate or just add them. Then we're going to say regular moves dot add range that thing. Right, and this is the special moves, and it gets all the chords out of it. Return the regular moves. Whew. This should be okay. Because there's no special moves, they're always going to be null. So we're not really adding anything yet. Now that we have all the plumbing in, we just have to because the ghost would be able to move here. But it's still working. It's still getting the regular moves. Oh, let's see. We got a null reference. Board 70. Regular moves. Ooh. So something is not getting set. Let's see if we can chase this down. All right, 104. Player 42 and player current player tune transform position is player true false. So something in here could be null. Let's attach. Let's stop playing. Let's see if we can recreate the problem. I think that was the first player move, right? So hopefully it'll do it again, but if it doesn't, all right, let's see. Player options is null. That's fine. What could be current player turn? Yeah, this. Nope, I need this. What could be null? Players current player turn. This. Where's players? Immediate window. Out of the way. Players. Where are you? No? Alright. So current player turn is 0. Players, there's one in there. And it's 0, so that's not null. Alright. Does he have a transform? He does. Does he have a position? He does. Floor to int is a type which is not valid. Oh, that's fine. This should floor to int. Right, so we should be able to grab this, grab our immediate window, V. Right, that just shows it to us. We can say vector 3 int floor to int, drop that in there. That works. I don't know let's step into this. Yes, step in. Oh, step out of that. We don't need that guy. Step back in. No, why are we going to the external sources? Oh, we're in the floor stuff. Let's step over. Got through it. Returned 3 options. All right, let's continue and see what Unity does. Boom. This is going to do it every time. Step over. So if we step over it at null points. Oh, there it is. So what is null in here? That is so weird. All right, we're gonna go to board 70, and we're gonna set We can set a no, where we could like put some logic behind this. Come on, Ryder, stop fighting me. There we go. Condition. The condition is chords equals null or get special equals null. I don't think it's going inside there. Let's see. Stop. Let's play this again. I mean, that bool can never be null, right? It's not a nullable bool. But, nope. Oh, forgot to get rid of that breakpoint. Continue. Let's move the player. What did we do last time? This way? Move the ghost. Object reference not. Get board, C, get moves, cell N. That's super weird. And this did not break. Neighbors. All right, let's try the next line. Sing it on all. Let's say we already checked chords, so we can say cells, chords, neighbors. Is that null? Like that? That could be null. Let's see. You're still running. You're stopped. Excuse me. Debugging. Super fun. It's just like I'm trying to edge up to the problem. Something's going null, right here, and I'm not sure what. This didn't catch, so that's not null. Select isn't null. And we just sort of messed with this, which is why I'm curious. So let's look at the whole thing. Game goes 104 to 160 when it's 70. Oh, does it do it twice? Is it going in deeper? Regular moves, cells, chords, neighbor. All right, let's just do regular breakpoints and see if we can. So it was on the second time. Second time through. Or null pointing. So let's see if we can do it once, hit play, check it the second time. Excuse me. Ghost. Alright, ghost is fine. Let the ghost go. Ghost works. Just take a quick, yeah, these look okay. Go. Get moves. Why is this? Oh, because we're inside this selecting a whole bunch of them. Ghost, go there. And let's see. This is a cell. All right, reconnected. Hopefully that it didn't drop out. All right, back to our regularly scheduled debugging. Could there be a cell that's just like, there's a null cell for some reason. 2, 3, continue. Ghost goes there. Let's see. Neighbors. Cells, neighbors. Oh, we're inside the select, so oh, here it is. Yeah, one of the neighbors is null. Yeah. All right. Something's fishy around here. So let's see if we can jump around in here and look at. I'm looking at the neighbors list. Oh, you know what it could. Yep. Ah, there it is. Haha. Yoink. There was a null cell. There's a couple in here. let's get rid of those. Let's do this. All right, found it. Neighbors dot where n is not equal to null, and this is null checking is not especially fast, but I think we're okay here. We're going to be checking, at most 4 per cell, and let's say we're for some reason we have to check 10 cells, right? That's 40 null checks, some duplicates. I think we're gonna be okay. Let's try this again. I should probably reintroduce those empties just to make sure. But as we're going, like, this is this where, so it's going to select all the cells where they're not null, which should help. If there are some other ones in there that didn't get cleared out, that should help avoid the problem. Oh, the skeleton and the ghost got put on the same cell. Boop. Yeah, this is... There we go. There we go. Track down the problem. So to recap, the problem was that there was a neighbor, but one of the elements was null, which is different. So the special neighbor is empty, right? There are no indexes. Like, there's no index 0 to be null. But the neighbors had, like, an intermediate index, like 2 out of 3, and that was null, and we were trying to get the coordinates on a null cell. Well, so every time we look up the neighbors, we just ignore all the null neighbors. And if we went through and, like, we could write some scripting to be like fix all the lists, it's easier just to write a little where clause. If this becomes a performance problem, then we can go through and, write something to check our tables. But that's easier. And that's done. So let's go in and let's show our debug lines again. So I want to add another button in here, so that we can select like 2 of these, and instead of connecting them, I want to connect them special. So they're special connections. It does the same thing as just connecting them, but instead of connecting them with the neighbors list, it connects them with the special neighbors list. Let's get our cell editor, and then this is our more connect cells. I'm going to wholly lift because it's probably very similar, but I'm also going to delete these debug statements because I don't need them anymore. Connect cells, and then we're going to connect these cells through the special, which means duplicating this. We're duplicating a lot of code for, like, it is the same function. We could recurse this further. Instead of passing a cell, we could pass a list. Like, connect these 2 lists, like put each other in, but we would still need to pass the cells to put in the list. So connect cells special. And the only difference being special neighbors. Right? So we just need to go in, left, special neighbors, right, special neighbors. There we go. And then we just need to utilize this in our connect special button. It's the second one, right? Connect cells specially. And then connect cells special. Left and right. Bam. Donezo. And this should work. Like, we could implement our disconnect cells and disconnect special. Let's do this for the special cells too, but like you disconnect the special. So there wouldn't be 2 connections that have the same, but I want to go through and special neighbors and get rid of the special neighbors that are connected as well. All right. So if you say disconnect these 2 cells, if there's no regular connections, right, it just won't do anything. And if there's a special connection, you know, it'll remove them. If those cells have a special connection, we'll remove them. I'm going to do the same thing for our other disconnect. So disconnect cells, clear neighbors. Clear neighbors gets rid of all of them. Clears the neighbors out of your selected cells. Why is this not formatted correctly? Neighbors. So if cell neighbor is not equal to null, what does this do? Okay, so this goes through and says if this cell is in any of its neighbors, yank it out of the neighbors. Let's duplicate this and say for each var cell special neighbors, for each special neighbor, cell special neighbor, if cell special neighbor is not equal to null, right? Do the null check. And cell special neighbor dot special neighbors dot contains cell. We're gonna remove it. So special neighbor dot special neighbors dot remove cell. Nice and repetitive, nice and tedious. And then we're gonna do cell special neighbors clear. There we go. So now if we clear all the neighbors, it'll get rid of the special ones too. Last thing we need to do is to update the gizmos. So I modified these to be, instead of just a line, right, I left this in here, I made it a handle because handles have thickness. And so we can modify this to also draw special neighbors. This is for each neighbor, and then special neighbors for each. And there we go. And again, if n is null, right? If the neighbor is null, just return. You know, do a little safety check, a little guard, and we're going to recalculate all of this. A lot of duplicated code. Come back later and modify it. Halfway point, same. Do the mod. So this is setting up the color, right? And then we pick the line color. And we're just I'm gonna lerp this. I'm gonna make them duller, I guess, more clear. Lerp. We're gonna go from the mod to color clear. Clear. And we're gonna go halfway. Just make it happen. And we're gonna make them a little bit smaller. There we go. So that should draw all the special neighbors. Go do a little compile do, focus back on these guys, and show the debugs. All right, everything's still supposedly working. Let's let our ghosts pass through here. Connect cells specially, bam. All right, so now you can see there's a grayed out, not grayed out, a lighter halftone version. And we can just go through connect special, connect special, connect special. I could go through and do all of these. It's probably gonna take a little bit of time, but let's see if the ghost can get through this wall. Like, we've got this entire wall. I wonder if I can modify that to make it a little bit more obvious that that's a special connection. Let's drop this down to 2. Come on. Did not like that. Show debug. There we go. Now you can still see there's a line there, but it's tiny. And should probably test the clear, but do that another time. All right, there's our ghost and our skeleton. Boom, ghost player. Select that. We should probably just stop it. There. Look, we can move through. Bam. Ghosts go through walls. Nice. Go back through the walls. Let's move the skeleton over. Let's move the player over. Skeleton. Alright. And the player cannot move through the walls. See, because the player is not special like the ghost. Skeletons, not special like the ghost. Let's have you run away. The ghost, whoop, boop, through the wall. Nice. Pass. Ghost. He's gonna get you, but he's on the other side of the wall, so you can't see him. Oh no. And now it's gonna be like the skeleton every time. Skeleton every time. Ghost. Gotcha. Too scared to move. Oh no. Nice. Still too scared. And then the ghost gets bored of you. Moves off you. Run away. Nice. Alright. That's I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's show these debug lines along. Let's I'm gonna go in and let's clear these guys. Boop. Alright. The ghost, special ghost cleared out. We gotta connect these, and then we gotta go back in and add our special connection. Right, because it's different, but you know, what else? Let's also check the multi-clear. Right, clear all neighbor cells. Bam, gets rid of them. Think this is fine. Editor scripts. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Seems to be working. Oh, it did it? No, that one was there. That was in there before. Let's connect these back up. Connect. Connect. This is pretty quick. Just to set up this data structure. Hit save. Now we've got some special ghosty walls. Those are kind of hard to see. You know, is that going to be a problem, or is that going to be get used to it? Let's see if we can make them, I don't know, darker and not clear. That's white. White would not be darker. Let's make them black. Black, and let's go 0.75 to black. Might have to flip the other way. Come on. I edited one script. Show debug lines. Yeah, I think that's okay. They're still there. They're just darker and thinner. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. You go away. I think, what's next? I gotta add all these walls back. Like, now that we can move through walls, let's put the walls back. I think it's gonna be pretty easy. Another very tedious what's the word? Very tedious process. That's definitely a word. Because we already created the walls. Let's go into prefabs. Wall. Let's drop a wall in. Our materials got messed up. Nice. Take a last sip of my water. Upper wall. This still has a collider on it. We need to get a new material. Let's see. I think it was this one. Maybe. Hopefully. Boop, boop. That. Yeah, that looks right. But we don't need the lower wall anywhere more because we incorporated them into our thing. So if we get rid of the lower wall, let's prefab, unpack. Let's get rid of the lower wall. Now since it's just the upper wall, let's just make it the upper wall because there's nothing in this parent except for like setting this offset. That could be useful. That could be very useful. Let's leave it. It's staying in there. All right, wall parent object. You survive. Let's see if I can snap this here and do this really quick. 90. Control D. Control D. Control D. I'm just gonna put this wall in. But again, probably get them all back in fairly quickly. because they're already set up. Yep, they're on the wall layer. Let's give it a try. Yeah, they're disappearing. Not really the way I'd like them to, but that's okay. We can mess with that. Let's tweak it a little bit. Just make small improvements. This guy. Oh, all of our walls. Let's not cells, not house. Let's add an empty, walls. Right, that's reset. Grab all of you guys, and you're gonna go in here. Bam. Now you're hiding. All right, let's grab our cam dolly, which has our what would you call this? Hide wall tube on it. I think it's in here. Where is it? Wall killer. It's in the wall killer. Why didn't I think of that? Let's drop the radius. That looks like it might be okay. Excuse me. Now I got that goes. Boo. Yeah. Yeah. That's better. Let's move the ghost next to the wall. Ghost. Yeah, I think this will work. Like I want these walls, despite even if we're looking at the walls from this direction, right? I want to be able to see if there's a player or something on their side without having to flip around, right? Now I can like sort of sneak up, but nah, let's make it. Yeah. You say pop in, pop out. We can add some flavor. Cool. I'm super happy with this. It's turned out really well. Yeah, I think that's enough for this week. Get a nice 50-minute add special movements in. I think next week we're gonna do the same thing except exclude the monsters. So one of the things in our design doc is like things you can hide in. So let's say like you have like a wardrobe, right? There's a wardrobe on this cell. Like the player can move into that wardrobe, but the monsters can't. So I'm imagining you can move into it from any direction. Let's mock that up really quick. Let's create a cube. Ooh, almost in the perfect spot. Let's scale her down just a little bit. Oh, not on the Y. Z. There you go. Scale it up. Pop it in here, right? That's a super tall wardrobe. So you got this like wardrobe here, right? And let's say it's like a safe space, right? So the player can move into it from any direction, right? But the ghost and the monsters can't. So if I'm running from a ghost and I want to gain a little distance on him, or like get him to lose sight of me, I'll move in to the wardrobe, and then he can't move on top of me. So I have like an exit route. I can move out the front or out the side. If you could only enter through the front, right? You could just camp, like another player could camp an enemy on the cell in front of it, and it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be as much fun because you still can't move. You still can't get out of the wardrobe. So we'll make it multiple directions, right? But this is instead of being moving through walls is ghosts only. Moving through this cell is going to be players only. I think we started to add that. Totally started to add that, and we looked at it. We did is player for some reason, and I can't remember why. Yeah, we'll figure it out next week. But that's the goal for next week, is to add cells that players can like have a safe space in. Since now we have we have movements that only ghosts can do. We're going to create cells that only players can move through. We could probably tweak it to have cells that only enemies can move in, which is slightly different than, having enemies only be able to make a move, right? We're talking about excluding occupying the cell versus excluding transferring from one cell to another. But I think that'll be pretty fun and pretty good for next week. I think in the interim, I'm going to go through and plop all these walls in just to make it feel a little bit more like a house and not just a random assortment of 2x4s on the floor. We'll do something with these stairs. I don't know. See how the week goes, and I'll fix these guys. Get the 2-sided rendering on. But other than that, I think we're calling it. Have a good week. Hopefully, you'll see some people next week. Get some questions in. Have a little bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.